Hey everyone, welcome back to Aligned Souls Tarot. I am Lindsey, and it is the new year, guys. It is 2026. So I wanted to go ahead and jumpstart the channel again and start doing these readings more consistently. The hope is to continue to do them every week this year. If not, then the very minimum would be once a month. But we're going to shoot for once a week, and I will set that as my standard. So we're going to do pick a card today and just kind of see what goes through. At the moment of recording this, I really don't have a title for the recording, so we'll just see what comes through. You can pick pile 1, which is going to be the TikTok clock, number 30. You can pick pile number 2, which is going to be chaos and conflict, number 33, or if you reduce that, you can reduce it to 6. And then last but not least, pile number 3 is time for a nap in reverse, and that is number 24, which is also a 6 number. So pick whichever one resonates with you. I will show you guys more closely what each one looks like. This is TikTok. And then we have chaos and conflict, pile number 2. It's a zebra that is in a giraffe skin that is, I guess, peeling off in the wind. And then you have pile number 3, time for a nap. This is in the reverse, and it has a fox sleeping on the moon. There, the crescent moon there. Okay, so once you have picked your pile, go ahead and pop over to the timestamp below. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome to pile number 1. You guys got TikTok, number 30, which reduces to the number 3. I am using the Rider-Waite tarot deck for your main read today, and then we are using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck to get any clarifications or any oracle messages that need to come through. And like I mentioned in the beginning, in case you skipped that part, I do not know what's going to come through today. I don't really have a subject that I'm focusing on today. It is just the new year, and we're just going to see kind of what comes through. Remember that these readings are for the collective, so some things will resonate, other things may not. So take what does and leave the rest. Everybody's situation is different. And if for some reason you don't feel like this reading is pertaining to you and your circumstances, I typically say give it a week or 2 and then come back to it and see if it is applicable. If not, then feel free to sit with yourself for a while and come back and really use that intuition in choosing which pile really resonates with you. Sometimes these things don't pull through for a couple of weeks time, or even 3 to 6 months out we can go. So all right, let's go ahead and get started and see what wants to come through my pile 1. Okay, so we have the Hierophant in reverse, followed by the 7 of Swords in reverse as well. Oops, that one on the floor. Let's see. For those of you that are new to my channel, if something falls on the floor, I do read it. Or if something falls out sideways, I will read it too. But I like to kind of throw it on the table and see where the universe wants me, how the universe wants me to read it. So you guys did get the Page of Cups in the upright position. see if there's anything else. Yep, you have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. All right, we'll do it one more time. Yep, I saw that. Where did you go? The Chariot. I love these cards so far. I'm already starting to pick up on the message for you. Anything else that needs to come out? Okay, you have the World card. This is great for 2026. Okay, you guys have I think that's the 9. Yeah, the 9 of Wands in the reverse as well. All right, perfect. Bottom of the deck, you guys have the Moon in reverse. I'm just going to put that right here for right now. All right, so I'm going to start with the TikTok card. All right, some of you could actually literally be on TikTok. You could be an influencer. The time on the clock is 10, looks like 10:07. So 10:07 could mean something to you. October 7th, January 7th. That reduces to the number 8, which is also the infinity symbol. You could be on a life path 8. This could be your 8th year, your 8th personal year. I'm just going to pop into the book real quick. I don't remember the wisdom of the oracle because there's just so many ways to read them. So I always like to just pop into the book for more clarity on these oracle cards. So the central meaning of TikTok obviously is going to be timelessness, divine timing, and measurable time. And I do see some of that playing through as far as divine timing with your tarot cards. The message says, when humans created time, everything changed and everything contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future is ahead of them. But what if this isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order? So you guys, with that, you might be drawn to pile number 2 as well. What if all of that were happening right now in glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire. So release your agenda, let go of your need to shape each moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are right here, right now, and always show up when you need them, right on time. Guys, this is really great for 2026. I'm also being drawn to the prosperity message, which is prosperity is co-created by your endeavors as they occur in human-made time and the eternal efforts of your most important manifestation partner, which is spirit, in a divine, measureless time. So keep doing what you're doing, stay positive, make a commitment to remain in high vibration thoughts and feelings. If you heed the message of this card, it will seem as if you will align with your highest calling and your highest good in no time at all, like magic. So what's all the fuss about not having enough time? The prosperous life that is yours will never pass you by. Okay, this is perfect. This is so good for 2026. So as y'all may have read or know, being, spiritually aware, we're ending the snake year and we're starting with the fire horse year. And now technically that doesn't start until February 17th, that switch over. But just because we follow the solar calendar instead of the lunar calendar, we all see the new year as the time for change. And I really want to invite you guys to allow yourself to be in the present moment every single day. I know we all have to-do lists. I know we all have these goals and expectations that we set at the new year, but I challenge you to make this year different. I challenge you to make this year with the word standard and to allow yourself to just be in the flow that is the universe. Because, like your card just said, there's no rush. Everything that is meant for you will come in when the timing is right, when you're ready. Because ultimately, what I'm also hearing them say to me right now is you don't get what you want, you get who you are. And let me explain that if you've never heard that before. Essentially, if you want to manifest something, if you want to bring different things in or change in a different timeline, a different lifestyle, a different financial capacity, whatever the fill in the blank is, you do that from within. You do that by becoming the person who already has whatever your fill in the blank is. So I encourage you every morning to close your eyes before the day starts. Close your eyes, and if you don't journal, I encourage you to journal. But close your eyes and really tap in with your core and your spiritual higher self, and embody the person that already has whatever the thing is that you are trying to have as your goal, whether it's weight loss, whether it's financial stability, whether it's a relationship, whatever it is. Sit with yourself each and every morning this year to the best of your ability consistently and really feel into what would that feel like if I already had this thing or this goal. And when you feel that feeling, remember that feeling throughout the rest of your day and live from that space. Live from that space as someone who already has. We talk about embodiment all the time. That's what this is. So I encourage you to set a standard for yourself instead of goals, instead of a checklist, instead of resolutions. Say, this is my new standard. This is how I'm going to live. This is what I want to come into my life, and I'm going to live like the person who already has that thing. I guarantee you, by the end of the year, all of your manifestations will have come true. And that's exactly what this card is telling you. Everything that's meant for you will always come to you. It'll never pass you by. Now, the caveat to that is things that are not meant for you will pass you by. So you might be trying to manifest something that you're just not ready for yet. The divine timing is going to hold and wait for that timing to actually be appropriate. So there's also another aspect of this where you have to give yourself grace to understand that you just have to hold the faith and hold the space that maybe the timing isn't right for you right now, and then dig deeper into that and figure out, why is that the case? Why is it that I am not ready for, why am I not truly ready for whatever this is that I am not receiving, right? And it could simply be that what you think is good for you may not actually be good for you. It may not actually benefit you for your highest good. So without even reading all the tarot cards, that is a huge message that is coming through just from the TikTok card. And you know, threes are definitive numbers, divinity numbers. So that's your direct message from spirit, from God, whatever it is that you believe in, source, the universe. That is your main direct message from this tarot reading. And like I said, it's only from the one card. So let's dig a little deeper here with a tarot card. The Hierophant in reverse tells me that you're missing that connection with yourself. You are disconnected from this intuitive knowing, from this introspective place, from this place of connection with yourself and with spirit. There's a shift, and maybe you're aware of this or maybe you're not, but there's a shift that needs to happen that brings you closer to that wisdom that is within. I'm also getting with these two guys sitting here on the side, that, and the fact that it's in a reverse position, that you might have a lot of people in your life or a couple of close people who kind of disregard you. They kind of, I'm getting, don't believe what you're saying. So maybe you're going and saying like, I'm going to do this year. I'm going to accomplish this year. I'm going to go travel here. I'm going to obtain this amount of money. I'm going to do whatever. And these people are like very dismissive. Oh yeah, you've said that before. Oh yeah, that was your goal last year. Oh, look at this. They are your negative feedback people around you that are really truly influencing your connection with yourself and the source. So be aware of who those people are. That's kind of what this card is also saying too. So the seven of swords is often like a trickster card. It's people playing games and stuff like that. And it's this sense of like you having to walk away because you notice his face is looking. I don't know if you guys can see that, but his face is looking towards this card. And I always go by like what's on the cards too. If you guys are new to my channel, but he's looking at this card, which is indicating like this trickster energy here is something that is holding you back, right? It's also kind of like burdensome for you to continue to be listening to or involved with these people here. It's just really draining your energy, and it's putting like a obstacle between you and your ultimate connection, like I said, with source and with your truth and ultimately yourself. Um, so the good news is, moving along, that you do have new opportunities coming in. You have a fresh start, you have a new start that you have to make the decision to make. And that comes with the cups here, with that emotional connection to your core. They're telling me about the heart chakra, and they're letting me know that like there's some clearing of the chakras that have to take place, and now they're mentioning the root chakra, which is indicative of some of these cards because you do have some green. You have a lot of green for the heart chakra here. You also have a lot of red, so and yellow actually. So you're looking at those bottom 2 to 4 chakras that really need to get more into alignment to clear out this energy that's been holding you back these past few years. Yeah, they're telling me it's cyclical. So you've been in this cycle of like trying to push forward, but then everyone around you is influencing you to hold you back. And there's just this cyclical energy of why am I not getting more? I know I deserve more, but it's these people that they keep putting like seeds in your head that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it or there's doubts there, and you have to clear that energy out. So you do have this new opportunity coming in. It's going to take you putting your guard down, um, which kind of seems counterintuitive to what I just said. So let me explain. So with this group of people you have here, these are boundaries that you need to set with these people, right? Boundaries within yourself that not necessarily disassociates you from these people, but allows you to live at peace with knowing your truth, and whatever they say is just a reflection of them. Okay. Putting your guard down in the sense of being open to receiving all of the things that you are trying to manifest and that you desire. Okay, because if we are in this fight or flight state, the survival mode, our defenses are up, right? And so that's going to block energetically what we wish to come in. So like I said, doing those morning meditations, checking in with yourself, reconnecting with that spiritual side of you is what is going to help open up these areas. And what's also interesting on here, they're pointing out that this is the heart chakra where this coin is, and then you have the root chakra here, and um, you notice that it's upside down. So these are all blocked, and ultimately your crown chakra is the one that's going to connect you to source. And because these bottom ones are blocked right now, your top one isn't. Your crown chakra isn't receiving all the downloads that it needs in order for you to move forward, right? So the chariot we have as movement, pulling forward, new things happening, going towards greater opportunities. And you have the black and white here they're pointing out. So you have the yin and yang, the masculine, the feminine. Um, and you're really having to put these walls down in order to move forward in this area. Again, they're showing me the green that's right here on his outfit for that heart chakra energy. You have the healing symbolisms here, all types of things here is calling out to me right now. So the raft and the river, that's emotion again happening. Like you have this consistent river line that's happening even through here to the moon. There's this river in the background. So emotions are definitely involved here. The spiritual connection is definitely involved here, unlocking all these things because it is here for you. It is knocking at your door. But like I said, it's going to require you setting the boundaries around the naysayers, trusting yourself, believing in yourself, opening up to receiving, and understanding that you can have whatever it is that you want to manifest. Again, back to this card. Don't rush it. Don't try to plan it. Be open to receiving it. Divine timing is on your side. But again, like I said, it goes back to setting that standard for the year, right? The world card is also telling me that you're closing out these cycles, right? I just mentioned the cycles. So you're closing these out. You've learned the lessons. Everything that's happened up to this point is just, it's done with, right? We're closing that out. We're starting over. The world card is here to tell you there is a completion point. And this is also the number 21, which also reduces to 3, going back to your TikTok card. So closing things out, moving forward. Like I said earlier, these are all really great cards. This again is putting down those defenses. For some reason, they're telling me putting down pride is a good one too. You've been very hurt in the past, which is why you've built these walls. But really, it's about unlocking those hangups that you continue to have. They're showing me that he has this head wound, which means it's all in your head, right? And you need to drop into your heart. They're showing me his boots that are green, green being that heart chakra again. So you need to really drop into your groundedness through your heart chakra and put down these kind of walls and these barriers that you've built because you've tried to be defensive around these other people, and um, it's kind of like being on the defense instead of the offense, and so you need to switch that over to being, like I said, open to receiving, because you do have a lot of passions going on with this card too. One in particular stands out among the rest of them. You probably know what that is. It could be anything, but you're being blocked from, they're saying pursuing, but I'm getting more like achieving that that passion of yours because of all of this stuff that you've been through previously. So lastly, we have the moon card here, and it too is in reverse. You have the towers as well in this card. Lots of like yin, yang, lots of sorry, I'm getting, okay. So the sun, they're telling me to point out the sun. The sun is that lunar calendar that I just talked about. And they're saying you've been following like the masculine way of doing things. And the moon in reverse is feminine energy. And it is in the reverse because you haven't honed in on balancing that feminine aspect of yourself, really honing in her and balancing out the masculine accordingly. So this is going to be the ultimate goal for you to pursue right now. If you want to set a goal, is how to tap more into that feminine aspect of yourself and then continue to balance out the masculine and feminine, because that ultimately, that balance is what's going to bring you peace and clarity, stability, the manifestations that you desire, all of the things. Yeah. So the Hermit in reverse, you've got to come out of this defensive mode and you have to start getting onto the offensive here and start really owning your life, your choices. Okay, here they're telling me this. So the other day I was given a really good quote or saying from somebody, and they said that what you tolerate is what your life will be. So they wanted me to tell you that because you are tolerating a lot of stuff that you don't deserve. And they're saying that you can do better than this and you know it. Yeah, look, as soon as I said that, this card, Deep Knowing, comes out in reverse. So there's something that you know and it's deep within you, but you're like avoiding it. You are not allowing it to come through and be your truth for whatever reason that may be for you. Let's see if anything else wants to come out, and then I can actually read that card to you. Any other clarity messages for this read today? Pile one. Nope. Okay, cool. Bottom of the deck, you have all that glitters, and I love that card for you too. Okay, so Deep Knowing is number 43, which is the number 7. It is in the protection position, so I will read that message to you. There's a white owl on it that could be significant for some of you. You have the moon here. You actually have 2 moons here and a couple of stars. Let's see, 43. All right. So the message with this Deep Knowing card, and I'll show you guys it as I read it. Hopefully it'll, I feel like there's always a glare and then there you go. Okay. So number 43, you are in empathy overload. You need to get grounded again. So tune out for a bit. Hypersensitive, you're suffering from psychic exhaustion. This signals a time for a recharging of your batteries. Set energetic boundaries. Take a salt bath. Empty your mind and get back to you. I can't make this up, guys. Get back to you. It's not a time to be too open. Soon enough, you can let your guard down. Oh my gosh, guys, like I can't make this up. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna keep reading. You can't let your guard down, or you can, sorry, soon enough, you can let your guard down, right? That's what we talked about here. Right now, you need self-care and self-love. It's a time to say no, thank you to anyone in your life who exhausts you. Won't that feel good? Guys, I love when this happens, but I cannot make that up. That's literally, you guys can check it if you want. But that's literally what that card says. And it's everything that we just discussed. Let me do this one for you. This also is a number 7. It's number 16, reduces to 7. So 7, you have 2 7s here. So 7 is transformation. It's that bridge between what was and what is to come. So number 7 is probably really significant to you guys. July could be significant to you. Let's see. Is it 16? Okay. A need to see beyond the superficial. The desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature. Trying to be something you're not. Chasing after every sparkly new thing. Being mercurial. The oracle message is it's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But what if it sparkles? Why do I keep putting what in there? But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing. Or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the masks people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the object or person? This is also really great because I feel like maybe you've been in this people pleasing mode where you've just allowed this to continue on. And that's you putting a mask on and not being authentically yourself. And then vice versa, these people could be putting masks on for you, and maybe they're manipulating you in some way, shape, or form, and they're not being true to you. We do have the trickster energy here. So what this is saying is this whole message here is about reconnecting with your inner self and your inner knowing and building up that intuition, going into your heart chakra, getting rooted in everything, putting your guard down while setting boundaries. Like this is what your mission for this whole new year is going to be. It's going to be a coming home to you and your truth. And that happens in divine timing. It doesn't happen with checking the boxes. It happens through doing the work, going deep, healing the things. But you do have an opportunity here to open up and receive all that is coming into you because you have completed this cycle in the past. That's been in the past. So connect with yourself, like I said, hone in on who you are authentically. And I feel like 2026 will be an amazing, bright, full of manifestations year for you. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that that helped, Pile One, and I will see you back here next time. Hey, Pile Two, welcome to your reading. You guys have the Chaos and Conflict card. The number is 33, which reduces to 6. We will read this shortly. I'll be using the Rider-Waite tarot deck today for your actual tarot reading, and then we will clarify any other messages with the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So let's begin. Like I mentioned earlier, in case you missed the beginning, I don't really have like a title or a subject matter for you guys. Whatever comes through, we will just go from there. You guys have a lot of cards coming out. So yeah, this is just kind of whatever wants to come through can come through, and we will read the message accordingly. So far you guys have the 8 of Wands in reverse. You have the 7 of Cups, and you have the Ace of Swords. I saw that. I'm going to take that. Okay, didn't want that. The Emperor card. Good choice. Chaos and conflict. What else do we need? Now with the first reading that I just did, it did connect to this pile. Whoop, 2 cards there. It did connect to this pile here. So if you chose this pile, you might want to go back and listen to sorry, I'm like already getting like things coming down, so I'm like trying to remember it and talk to you at the same time. You might want to go back and watch number 1 after we're done with this one if you need more from your message. Okay. Queen of Cups. Okay, sorry. You guys have the High Priestess here. I'm just looking at these, like these are really good cards. Okay, you're the High Priestess here, and then the Ace of Cups in reverse on top of that. That came out together, so I will keep them together. Then you have the Queen of Cups. They keep bringing up the number 6, and I'm like, okay, I see that there's 6 cards. Like, do you want me to stop like pulling cards? They're like, no, you need like one more card. And I was like, then why do you keep telling me 6? So 6 might be significant. I mean, this is 6. Conflict and chaos is 6. So that might be significant. June might be significant. The 6th of January could be significant. It is 2026. just there's something around the number 6 um, that's coming through. So you guys would know what that means for you. I'm gonna just keep, yeah, I knew it. I'm gonna just keep going because I like to just go through the whole deck before I finalize this card pulling. But I also had a feeling other things would come out. So the world card, yeah, the world card in reverse is what needed to come out. Kind of felt that. Bottom of the deck, you have the 6 of Cups, and that is in the reverse. Looks, wow. Okay, sorry. There's a lot of stuff coming down, and I'm trying to like remember everything. This, they're telling me there's a aspect of overgiving. Here, the world card, when it came out, they told me, can you guys see all of this? They told me you have some cycles that are not done yet. Pause, because there's good news with that though. They said don't freak out. Okay, bottom of the deck. Got it. Beautiful. All right, guys, let's get into it. These cards I like to read from the book because there's just so many ways to interpret them. When they're in the reverse is one message versus in the upright, and there's just so many of them. So I always read those. So the number, like I said, is 33. We have disarray, being at cross purposes with another. They just told me like not living your truth, not being authentic to yourself. The tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. Yeah. And then the Oracle's message is opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere. I'm surprised you guys didn't get the Tower card. That's interesting to me, but okay. But consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, the essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes, and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides. Oh, wow. Did you guys just see that? The flame. The flame just flickered and got a lot bigger. Okay. Very powerful stuff right here. Okay. I don't even know where I was. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Confirmation on my phone. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look, it did it again, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps. Okay. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. Okay, guys. Wow. Crazy. Okay, so this does relate to pile number 1, so you guys can go back and watch that if you feel necessary. But what I am ultimately getting is everything that the new year symbolizes. And I'll tell you, like I told pile 1, you guys have probably seen that we are transitioning from the snake year to the fire horse year. Fire is significant, especially in your reading right now, because fire and the fact that the flame kept going off for no reason, actually probably is reason, but I didn't do anything is what I mean. So your flame kept flickering, which tells me that with this new year that's starting, first of all, it doesn't technically start until February 17th. That's when that transition moves. We follow a lunar calendar, so we always like to set our intentions and stuff at the beginning of January 1st. But there's so many different calendars out there. We used to follow a lunar calendar, all the things. So there's so many different dates depending on which aspect of humanity across the years you want to follow. So with that being said, the 17th of February is when we transition from the snake year to the fire horse year. And I feel like you guys have a fire within you that has been ignited over the last few months. Okay. And with that fire that's been ignited, there's been a shift in who you are, who your identity is. And it's been for you more authentic. Okay. And this is ruffling feathers of people who have become so used to the version of you that did the people pleasing, right? That did all the things for everybody all the time, who didn't say no to anything. Just all of this. And you're completely shedding this. This is a transformational part of the year for you. Going back to the snake year is a year in which everything is brought to the surface and we are shedding it. We are getting rid of it. So the fact that your card here with chaos and conflict has this zebra shedding its giraffe-like skin into the wind, and then it mentioned it's planting seeds, that those seeds are going to be your true foundation. And what's popping in my head right now is something that was said in my church on Sunday, was that there's examples in the Bible where, or Jesus uses this parable about the person who built their house on sand versus the person who built their house on rock, right? On rock. The sand shifts, it moves. And in fact, you guys, I just noticed this. You have sand in this card. There's like a desert behind the zebra. Okay. So previously, your house has been built on this sand, and it shifts and it moves, and in the foundation, it starts cracking and all of this stuff. So you build up and build up this tension and anxiety and overwhelm and frustration and exhaustion, and all the negative energy words have built up to this moment where you are basically saying, I am done. And by you saying, I'm done, you have created conflict for others, which is not a bad thing. Okay. Let's put that out there. That is not a bad thing. But you are at your wit's end because the fire within you has been ignited. The fire within you is going to coincide with the fire horse year. You're going to blow up to exponential capacity. People in your life are going to see you like they have never seen you before. Okay. They're showing me the Emperor card here, kind of in the middle. Sorry, I'm just listening. They're saying like you are owning your stuff. Sorry. Hold on, there's typically two sneezes. Sneezes are confirmation for me too if you're new to the channel. Anything that has to do with my nose, if you look it up, there's like a thing with tarot readers where like if your nose itches or you start sneezing, like it's like confirmation, it's downloads, it's like all of the things that are just, spirit is here. You have spirit guides here that are talking to you through me, beside me, to give you this message. So I'm gonna take a sip of my drink real fast. So let's get down to the actual reading. You are ending things that no longer serve you. There are things in your life that you used to be fairly passionate about. Now you're like, those weren't authentically things for me. I was doing those things because other people were saying that those things would be good for me to do. And now that you have dropped all of these things. Like you're just in a state where you're questioning, how do I move forward? What options do I choose? You feel like the world is your oyster right now. You feel like there's so many directions that you can go and do or pursue or change or heal from, that you're kind of just like, which one do I choose? Right? So that's why the Seven of Cups is here. That's why the Eight of Wands is here. You're releasing things and you're choosing new pathways. What I'm being told to tell you with this Ace of Swords here is you can cut through the noise. You can cut through the noise and gain clarity when you listen to your heart and focus on source. Focus on the universe, God, whatever you believe in, and follow those intuitive downloads that you receive through this process. Have faith is something that they are also telling me. You have a crown in this card here. You have a crown in the Emperor card. You have a crown in the Queen card as well. And technically, you have a crown, although it is just a headpiece, but you have a crown in the High Priestess here too. So you have this certain authority that is being pulled through for you. And it is that authority that is on the top of your head in your crown chakra, that intuitive download space that you are being guided to focus on, to hone in on, because you do have the masculine and the feminine here. You can hold your emotional state just fine. You can hold your boundaries just fine, but you just have to do it. And what that actually looks like, how you go about embodying that, is going to require you to align yourself with your source. Okay. The High Priestess here, she's very similar to the Hierophant, but she has the Torah in her hand. She has the black and white beside her. She has all of these symbols of prosperity, all of these symbols of divine intuition. She's got the moon at her feet. All of these things indicate, and you know what? I just noticed they're pointing out this. They did this in the first reading too. They're pointing out this right here in the background. I've never noticed this before, but this is actually like the ocean behind her, because it cuts off right here and the rest is just simply blue. But right here, there's some lines that are indicative of the ocean. And the fact that her dress kind of leads out like it does, like a wave or an ocean. So that's very interesting. But, and then you have the water here. There's water back here. You have water in the mountains. You have water with the Ace of Cups. You have water here with the stream. So lots of that emotion is running through the background of where you're at right now. You have very strong emotions that need to come through, that you need to draw upon. You actually need to draw upon. Look, the flame is doing it again, guys. Okay. So yeah, she has the Torah in her hand. So she has the all-knowing basically in her hand. So you know, in the middle, pretty much in the middle of this read, there is a knowing, a deeper knowing, and deep knowing was one of the cards that came in the first reading too. But you have this knowing of your truth, and it's dead in the middle. It is in your heart. It is in your crown chakra. It is here for you to witness, to learn, to observe. But you have the Ace of Cups that came out over top of this card, which tells me you haven't quite figured out how to receive this download. You are pouring from an empty cup, which brings me back to this overgiving card here, being in the reverse. You are not receiving, you are overgiving. And this is what needs to change, because you need to have the ability to hold your own cup with the Queen of Cups here in that feminine aspect of you. And right now, you're doing too much, which we saw over here. So you're doing too much for so many people. That's where this lack of clarity is coming from. So until you get clear, right, put your foot down on some stuff, own some stuff, that is when this card can get overturned. And then you will receive the downloads, but only once your personal cup is filled. And that goes back to being authentically you. When you are true to yourself, when you stop self-abandoning yourself, when you start to self-trust again, that is when this whole thing shifts and you start coming into your own and you start to know you have the clarity and then you have the confidence. And then look, the Knight of Cups is in the direction of these cups right now. This cup is reversed and this cup is reversed, which tells me it's probably the same cup. So what you are seeking is trying to come to you, but you have it blocked because you aren't being open. You're overgiving from an empty cup. And so you need to fill that cup up. And then whatever these things are that this Knight of Cups is indicating will come to you. If that does not happen, if you don't do the things, and confirmation on the computer, if you don't do the things to hone in on your true identity, to shed the mask that you've been wearing, you will continue to repeat these cycles. So you're not quite done yet. You haven't come to full completion yet. Pile one came to full completion. They keep trying to say intuition. So let that land however that lands, but intuition. Pile one came to full completion. So maybe you are here. Maybe pile one is the advice that you need to end that completion, but you're almost there. You're not quite there. And this is why, because you're still overgiving. Yeah, you have a new beginning coming where you are focusing on yourself, right? You focus on yourself, come true to yourself, and that's actually going to be freeing for you. And I'm also getting this masculine energy here. So again, balancing out that feminine and masculine energy, because right now you're in a negative, confirmation on my phone, you're in a negative female energy. Okay, so bring more of the masculine in, flip the script on your feminine energy, balance the two out, which is what the reading of pile one was all about. And then you will come to full completion and you'll come out of this chaos and conflict. Okay, that's your message for today. That's a very powerful message. Like I said, you guys have a fire within you that is absolutely going to change everything for 2026. And then, like I said, we also don't transition until February 17th into the actual fire horse year. So we're just going to pull some more cards out to get some more clarity. Yeah, look at this. And then, like I said, I will read the book for these two because I just love reading the book for these. All right, that's it. So you got two cards. Pile one also got two cards. Bottom of the deck with this one, you have Chop Wood, number 42, reduces to 6. I can tell you right now, this card is about doing the work, putting in the effort to do the work. You have Orphaned, which is number 5, and then you also have New Life in the reverse, number 39, which is 12, which is 3, which goes back to your 33 up here as well. So you have lots of 3s, 6s, 7s, and then a lot of cups with that emotional energy. So let's get to reading. So New Life, number 39 in the reverse, which is going to be just the protection message. And it says, I'll hold this up so you guys can see it. Let me come back this way, I guess. Okay. It says, you must acknowledge your inexperience and gently allow yourself to be like the delicate new bud opening. It's okay to admit you may not know something. You are at the beginning of things and haven't yet hit your stride. Be immersed in the newness of it all and don't try. Sorry, I'm like going the wrong direction. Don't try to rush the learning process. New life has its own timetable for maturity. Be here now. Life loves you. That's also interesting that that came through because if you guys remember, I don't know if you watched the beginning, but pile one was about TikTok and TikTok being divine timing. So again, this all resonates with pile one as well. So don't rush things. You're still at the beginning. Like I said, this chaos and conflict always comes before the clarity, before the actual transformation. This is, you're dead in the middle of your transformation. So you are at the beginning of things. So be gentle with yourself, give yourself grace, and allow you to just move through this process. Like I said, you can go back to pile one and watch it and get more information on exactly how to go about switching from this chaos to actually coming in full circle and ending the cycle. Orphaned, number 5. This one tells me a lot about self-abandonment. And the fact that you had the Six of Cups in reverse also is indicative of that. But I will still read the message for you guys. So you have orphaned. The essential meaning is a sense of loss, an identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place, which is everything that we talked about in the beginning here, right? You've been doing so many things for so many other people that you've actually lost your identity, and now the world is starting to open and you're like, what the heck do I do? Where do I go? So that this card is very indicative of these first couple cards here. All right, I'm gonna keep going. It says we were all meant to have connections with other people within our families, society, and the larger culture. No man is an island, and it's important to recognize when being a part of rather than separate from is essential to your well-being. The issue at hand is the need to find where you fit. Be true to your core truths and values. Perhaps you no longer identify with a group or community the way you did before and need to find a new situation. Can't make this up, guys. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion. Oh, chaos and conflict. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. All right. So, oh wait, I was going to read this one too, but this is just more confirmation for everything that we've already said, right? Um, you just when you find your true authentic self, there is a sense of calm that comes with that because you're no longer performing for other people. You're no longer trying to be accepted by people who aren't really your people. So I encourage you to do the work and to dig in and come out the other side of this being true to yourself, like I said, on that rock solid foundation and come out of this sandy foundation. All right, chop wood, number 42, is about being grounded in everyday experience. Humility. There are times when the big dream is meant to lie dormant in your consciousness so that you can pay attention to the simple chores in your life. Consider why pruning a tree is the forerunner of delighting in the beautiful blooms when it is in full blossom. The mundane act of pulling off dead leaves, watering the soil, then leaving it to be wait, then leaving it be to let nature take its course is an important step in manifestation. Taking your attention away from your goal brings you into a state of receptivity. This is the deeper purpose for releasing attachment. When you engage in everyday tasks in a meditative, contemplative way, you clear your energy to receive your aha moments, which brings you ever closer to what you seek. So again, this is just confirming that in this process, take things one step at a time. Take things that seem very mundane, like meditation or journaling, or even just like 5 minutes in the morning to connect with yourself. Those things that seem like they don't move the needle because they're not physically doing any change, they're not checking off any check boxes. Those are actually going to be the things that actually shift everything for you. So it says when you engage in everyday tasks in a meditative, contemplative way, that's when your energy is going to start clearing, and you'll clear yourself. Like I said, you're going to gain that clarity that you need by connecting with your crown chakra here, okay? So this is your read, pile 2. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Like I said, go back and watch pile 1 because it'll get you from here to the ending of the cycle, okay? It'll give you that step by step of what to do, because right now I see the chaos in your world, right? This is very indicative of the chaos. You also got the chaos card, and all you're seeking is clarity, and it's going to take the things that I mentioned in this reading to do that, but then also to further the next step after you've done this would be what I said in pile 1. So go back and check that out too. So yeah, until next time, thank you guys for coming. I hope that you got some valuable information from it. I'll see you guys next time. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your read. You guys chose the time for a nap card, which is number 24, which reduces to the number 6. I always get this wrong. Okay, there you go. You have your little fox and the moon there. Welcome in. Like I said earlier, in the very beginning of this recording, I don't really have like a set plan for, specific subjects or questions or anything. So whatever comes through, I'm just allowing it to come through as it is, and we'll just read it as it happens. I will read this card in just a moment, and then we will dive deeper from whatever we get from the tarot. We'll dive deeper with the rest of the oracle cards there. I am using the Rider-Waite tarot deck for your main read, and then the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here for any clarification or further messages that we need. All right, you guys have the Five of Cups in reverse. You have the Ace of Swords in reverse, Two of Pentacles, and Happy New Year too, guys, if you didn't catch the beginning part. You have Death in reverse, and you have the Five of Wands. They're telling me to end it right there. You guys have the Nine of Cups as well in reverse. So Five of Wands in reverse. Oh, I said that. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with reading you about time for a nap. The Wisdom of Oracle deck I always read from the book because I don't really honestly remember all of them, for starters. But they also have protection messages if they are in the reverse, which is harder to remember. So I just read from it. So number 24, like I said, is time for a nap. Okay. And here is your message. It says, you are a human being, not a human doing. Is it possible you're suffering from workaholism? Could you be the one who thinks it's your job to save everyone? Sorry, I'm trying to hold it. It's so hard holding these cards like correctly. Okay. Could you be the one who thinks it's your job to save everyone, to be there for everyone, and to go, go, go until you can barely see straight? You've gone as far as you can. You've worked hard and nourished people and projects, but now you are an empty well and have no reserves for others or for yourself. Put this down so I can page. Don't let your ego keep you going full speed when your body and spirit need rest. Exhaustion is calling you to stop what you're doing altogether and take a break. If you don't, the appearance of this card could portend a possible illness that stems from being totally overwhelmed. You will feel like a new person if you take a break, so do it now. Wow, powerful. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, like I told the other two reads, that we follow a lunar calendar now. We used to follow the moon calendar. Sorry, that's the same thing. We follow a solar calendar now. We used to follow the lunar calendar. Glad I caught that. So what this means is that we start our new year on January 1st, but in actuality, that is not the new year when it comes to spiritual components like this. The Chinese calendar is probably more accurate. With that being said, you guys have probably already seen, because you are spiritually aware people, that we are shifting from the snake calendar year to the fire horse year. So not just the horse year, but the fire horse year. And sorry, I'm already like getting these downloads. Okay, so the fire horse year has the fire that ignites within us. The snake year was about bringing things to the surface and shedding them. So with your cards here and with what we just read, I feel like back in 2025 and probably beyond that, you have burnt yourself out. And if you haven't burnt yourself out already, you are on the verge of doing so. So this is your warning to stop what you're doing and pull back. Reorder your life accordingly. And they're telling me to tell you about human design right now. And I just talked about this on the podcast I was in today. There are 5 different human designs. If you guys don't know what your human design is, you can go to myhumandesign.com. Not affiliated with them or anything like that. I just love her work. And you type in your birth date, the time, and the location, just like you would if you were getting your natal chart, and you figure out what your human design is. And based off of your human design is going to help you figure out how to move, how to navigate in the world for this year and beyond, actually. So you could be like I was, where I am a projector and I was moving in the world as a generator. And so the world has been built, society, Western culture specifically, has been built around a generator type functionality, right? Manifestors, you can kind of jump in and do generating stuff too. You do kind of do it kind of differently, but you have the same like energy, basically. Projectors don't. Projectors, we need time to rest. Just like your card says, we need time to pull back, to regulate within ourselves, to check in with ourselves, to take the moments out in life, within the day even, to check in and say, hey, do I feel exhausted right now? Am I overwhelmed right now? Is what I'm doing in alignment with my higher self? Like, we have to do those checks throughout the day. Generators, manifestors, they're your 9 to 5 people. They have a task or multiple tasks put in front of them. They can knock it out, do it, great, get it done, move on with their life, and regulate later. We're not like that. So I feel like many of you who are watching this are probably going to turn out to be projectors. And if so, I'm here for you. I'm here for that. Otherwise, if you are one of the other human designs, you might be at max capacity because you think that you can do it all, and in reality, you really can't. So this is your warning. If you haven't already had burnout, exhaustion, overwhelm, that is coming, and to take the step back. So diving into the actual read itself, Five of Cups, you are focused on what was, okay? They're telling me there's a checklist in the past that you feel is incomplete. You have loose ends that you are trying to tie off, and you're over functioning trying to check the boxes to tie off the loose ends, all the things. And you don't really have a clear perspective on where you're going for this year. You feel like you still have things left over from last year that need to be completed before you can fully transition into this year. And that's actually causing you more anxiety and overwhelm. And what's happening is you're at a crossroads right now. You have to make a decision. Do I keep doing what I've been doing and expecting different results, knowing that I'm not going to get different results? Or do I change the patterning and I change my perspective and I change how I'm doing things completely and I come home to myself and I do things in my truth, in my authenticity, and in alignment with my higher self? Now, in the background of this Two of Pentacles cards, you have the waves going up and down, which tells me there's an emotional dysregulation happening. And this is your opportunity to leave these things in the past, right? How you've been functioning in the past has not been serving you for your highest good, and now it's time to turn the tables, choose the other option. Death in the reverse. The death card in and of itself is about new beginning, so it's actually a good thing. But what this is saying is that you are resisting this new reality that could be yours. You are blocking all the things that you want in this life because you're operating from this space here. This space here is chasing. It is all the negative words that you can think of energetically. It is not functioning to your fullest potential. It is choosing things like people pleasing. It is choosing to say yes to too many tasks. It is not being in alignment with your higher self. And by choosing those things, you are blocking your truth. You are blocking your freedom. You are blocking this calm, at peace state, this authenticity that wants to come through. Now, they are telling me to get some more cards, so we're going to use the oracle cards for this. So this is going to be kind of different than the other two reads. These are going to be clarity, more clarity cards on your situation and what to do moving forward, because I want to give you guys advice on the steps that you need to take to move from where you're at, because I can feel that there's this like apprehension to do things differently. I can feel it. I could feel you guys saying like, yeah, but if I don't do it that way, then things won't get done a certain way, or things won't end up the way that they need to end up, or I'm in this survival mode and I need to get out of it. And if I don't do the things, how am I going to get out of it? Like, I feel you. Honestly, like overthinking. I feel you, like the anxiety that is coming up. Okay, nothing else wants to come out. So we have 3 cards. The other ones we've had 2 cards, which I feel is pretty accurate for you guys. Oh, that's a cute pattern. It's blue, beige, blue, and then blue and beige. Okay, sorry. That could be relevant to some of you too. So you have a leg up in reverse, which is number 34, which reduces to 7. That's transformation. You have thinker in reverse, which is number 44, reduces to 8. You have imagine, which is number 20, reduces to 2. And what's interesting about this is with this imagine card, you have the crescent moon again, the same one, and both of them are in the reverse. So let's take note of that. And then last, on the bottom of the deck here, you have the number 11, which reduces to number 2, by the book. All right, these are all really good cards too. So let's get to reading about all of these, and hopefully it'll show you a way out and give you some clarity and confirmation or comfort in being able to move through what I just told you guys about. Okay, so 34 in reverse, your protection message for a leg up is, are you always insisting on doing everything yourself? And that's funny that that's the very first sentence that came out, because that's similar to time to take a nap, the first card that we pulled. Okay, so you have this mama bear, polar bear, and this baby polar bear, right? Which also tells me, like, this could be you. You could have kids involved here. You could be the mama bear who feels like you have to do everything. And if so, I understand that, because I have been there as a single mother of two myself. Like, I completely understand where this feeling of having to do it all yourself comes in, for sure. Do you have little faith that help will come, convinced that the burden of the world is doomed to remain on your shoulders? Your beliefs about going it alone need to be discarded. Remember, it's what we just said. As they do not serve you at all. Let others help you, which could also be indicative of this Five of Wands here too. Normally this is about conflict and drama, but this could also be about having people come and help you, and you're resisting that help. So there's some clarity on that card too. Yes, it will make you feel vulnerable to admit you need a helping hand, but to be vulnerable is good, for you have a lesson to learn. You must let someone else assist. You can't do life all by yourself. Once you shift your expectations, you'll be amazed by how quickly help arrives to give you a leg up. And a lot of things, you know, what's funny is what came through as I was shuffling the tarot deck was the Page of Wands card. And instantly, as soon as I saw that card, the first thing I thought was pride, ego. And I don't know if that resonates with you in any capacity. And I didn't really think that I needed to bring it up. But now that we've just read this card, I feel like that is relevant. I feel like you have this ego-ness about you that you live in because that's what you've been taught, right? There's no shame or guilt or blame in any of this. We are products of our environment, of how we've grown up, of things we've been shown, or how to come out of what we've been shown, right? So some of us have been shown negative aspects of life and we want to do better. So it's understandable why you would feel the way that you feel and why you would feel you have to continue to carry on in the patterns that are coming forth, right? But this is a new year. This is a new reset for the next 9 years. For the next 9 years, we will be in, I'm sorry, that's confirmation on my computer too, by the way. What has happened is we have had different planetary shifts. And then this year being 2026, that reduces to a 1 year. It actually reduces to an 11 year, which is the card you have here. And so, oh, sorry, not 11, a 10. Sorry, my bad. It reduces to a 10. And so having the 10 together is allowing divine support to come in and help you. So it's not just a number 1 year, but that 0 standing there with the 10, that's divinity. That's whatever source, God, whatever you believe in, that's what that is coming in to help you with your new beginnings. And you have to choose that route. Okay. And that's the foundation that we're going to start building in 2026, because we have to go through another 9-year cycle. So the things you choose this year are going to start building the foundation for your next 9 years. So it's not just the fact that this is a fire horse year and that we just had the snake year and we're shedding all the things. This is legit What do you want your life to be like for the next 9 years? Okay, so just take that into consideration when you are at this crossroads point and reconsidering, how you want your life to look and how you want to move about the world. That being said, let's move on to the next card we have is 44. Again, another protection message, and this is Thinker. Has a nice little fairy sitting on her box here, and she's in serious contemplation. So there's that card there. Okay. You might be suffering from analysis paralysis. Thinking has its place, but trying to figure everything out logically is not going to work right now. Your conclusions will likely be faulty, and you may act upon false assumptions that will get you in a jam. Give your mind a rest. Going back to this card. Do something creative, exercise, or meditate. Soon you'll come to your senses, and an aha moment will bring new clarity. Didn't we just talk about that? The aha moments. So you definitely have an aha moment coming to you right now. And that's what's going to flip this Ace of Swords over for you to have clarity moving forward, okay? Next, we have Imagine, another protection message for you. Like I said, it's the same moon that came through on your first card, the card that made you choose this pile. And the word here is imagine. But again, remember, it's in the reverse. So your message says, illusions and wishful thinking rooted in a sense of lack have entered your life. Which makes sense because if you look at this, this is wishful fulfillment, right? This is your wishes, your dreams, your manifestations in the Nine of Cups card, and it is in the reverse, which means I think that you have some desire. You also have the Two of Cups back here on the Five of Cups, right? This is what you have turned your back against. And it's like, and you know what? I just noticed this too. You have cup cards capping your read here. So you're having this internal power struggle, right? Between what it is that you want, that you desire, and where you're at now because of things that have happened in the past that are confirming that you have to do everything on your own, right? And so we need to break free of what our logical minds are trying to prove to us because our logical minds prove to us what we feel safe with. Okay. So breaking free of what is safe and ultimately the things that we think are safe are actually really not safe, right? Because safety doesn't lie in living paycheck to paycheck, right? But we're so conditioned to, and paycheck to paycheck may not be your reality, but that's just an example. We're so conditioned to living in that way that when new opportunities arrive, we don't even see them. We don't have the clarity around how to achieve more income so we're not living paycheck to paycheck because we have been so conditioned around living that way that our brains actually pointed out to us that that's the only way that we know how to live. And then we try to sugarcoat it and say, oh yeah, I'm really resilient because I continue to live this way. I'm really strong because I do everything on my own. Yeah, I'm independent because I do all of these things. And we wear those things as badges of honor when in actuality, the flex is infinite provision to better serve others. And if you're living in lack and survival, there's no way that you have the extra capacity to serve others, let alone serve others well. Okay, so I just want to throw all of that out there. But yes, the line in here that says you have wishful thinking rooted in a sense of lack, right? That's conflicting. We can't live in that space. So now you have to see things as they truly are, not as you hoped or imagined they would be. Okay? Because right now, like I said, you're focusing on these spilled cups here without actually seeing the fact that there are two cups right behind you. There's prosperity right behind you. Um, Release any fear. And like I said, remember I said I felt that anxiety when I said the things that I said early on. I felt that anxiety, and that's that fear creeping in. And you need to release that. You need to let that go. You need to envision anew. Perhaps you are anticipating that something fearful might happen and recreating that image of disaster over and over in your mind. Okay, so I'm gonna pause right there real quick. What I meant to say with all of this and your mind proving you correct is like when you go on the road or the highway and you say you want to get a new car, and you're like, oh, I want a new red car. All you will see on the road are red cars. Or maybe you just bought a new car and that's all you'll see. If I asked you right now to scan your room for something green, I bet you could look around your room and pick out some things that are green. But then if I came back to you and said, okay, well, how many things were blue? You wouldn't even know because your mind, your logical mind wants to prove correct. Okay. And even if that is a negative perspective, you will always find what you're looking for. Another thing that just popped up in my head could be relevant for some of you is a podcast that I listen to. She often talks, well, she doesn't often talk about it, but sometimes she'll mention how women will go through men's phones to see if they are talking to other women. And she said if you continue to do that, you eventually will find it because you are actually manifesting it because your logical mind wants to prove you right. Okay. And it could be something that is completely innocent in that scenario, right? That it has no indicator that he's talking to somebody else, but you will find some sort of incident, could be 5, 10 years ago even, and it'll be like, why did you say this to this person, right? You will always bring forth what you're trying to attract, even if it's negative, even if it's something that you don't want, because it's just how our mind works. So the way to get out of that is to look for better things, right? Look for the confirmation that you can have those things. Another thing that came to mind right now was one of my coaches says, if there is proof out there that somebody else has it, that means you can have it too. There's no reason why you can't have what anybody else has in any capacity that matters to you. It could be a house, car, relationship, money, business, whatever fill in the blank is. If someone else has already proven that that thing is possible, you absolutely can have it too. But you have to start proving to your brain, picking out, resonating on, envisioning, like I said, envisioning that future as your reality already. And this kind of goes back to what I mentioned, I think in the first read too, was embodying and envisioning what it is that you want, what that feeling is. And then you live by that every single day. And you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. You attract who you are. So if you want financial abundance, the only way to attract financial abundance is to close your eyes and envision how that would actually feel to have financial abundance. And then that feeling that you feel, that's the feeling that you have to tap into every single day. Every single day, tap into that feeling. And that feeling will grow over time. Could be a short amount of time even. The more you do it, the more you tap in throughout the day even to that feeling, the higher probability that you will manifest whatever it is that you are seeking. Okay? Sorry for the side note there, but I felt really compelled to tell you all that. So let's get back to reading about Imagine. Then we'll read this and we'll close the reading for you guys. So If you imagine disaster over and over, then that's what you're going to get. The universe responds to such projections, so be aware of this catastrophizing. No matter illusions and awfulizing, quote unquote, awfulizing, are a misuse of imagination. Clear the inner slate, stay grounded, stay real. Only then can you truly have what you desire, which is basically what I just went on a tangent. Told you guys about. Okay, we're going to pop back to number 11. Buy the book. This is your bottom of the deck card here. Oops, a little close there. Bunch of elephants. I honestly think it's probably like a father, mother, baby type elephants there. You're in the sandy desert. There is a checkerboard on the floor, so that could be significant too, that checkerboard. Maybe you feel like you're playing a game or something. Okay, so, or you don't know your next move, or you need to contemplate your next move, have wisdom in your next move. These are the things that are coming through right now. All right, by the book, the essential meaning is abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting cultural or family customs, universal laws. I'm going to stop right there for just a second. We're going back to this card again. There are ways that you have been conditioned in your life through things that you've seen, through the way that you've been raised, whatever that looks like up until this point, that have taught you how to live the way that you live, have taught you how to see things the way you see them, believe the things you believe, feel the things you feel, all the things, right? And that's what's been hindering you from the things that you wish for, the things you want to manifest, the better life that you want to possess. Because you have felt that you had to perform for other people, conform to their standards, instead of setting your own and living by your true authentic self. And not living in your true authentic self brings you to overwhelm and exhaustion, and not in abundance and prosperity. Okay, let's keep going. The universe works within a structure of divine laws and principles that provides a framework for human experience and evolution. The law of abundance, the law of prayer, the law of karma, law of attraction, law of thought, law of compensation, law of nature are a few. These principles create perfect order and operate with a kind of precision beyond human understanding. Even revolution has its place in universal law. Human beings, in turn, have their own laws and customs that vary from culture to culture and family to family. Laws keep social order and govern behavior, reflecting an instinctive understanding that harmony is important. This is the time to learn these laws and conform to them, rather than being the rebel and flouting them. So that's exactly what I was just talking about, right? Learning that you attract what you are, not what you want. Learning how to embody so that you attract. Learning all these concepts that we've talked about in this read so far. When this card appears, submit to structure and follow the rules, even if they seem to make no sense. Release resistance, for universal laws will correct any disharmony. And I think that that's another thing too. You're in such a controlling ego state that you're not allowing the universe to do the work that is necessary to get you to the next level of your life, the life that you are trying to manifest. Open your eyes to those universal laws, and it will be easier to go by the book at this time. Perfect. So I think that we have unpacked a lot in this reading. This was a really good reading. It was definitely different than the other two. I hope that you guys got some valuable information and insight from this reading. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I am going to try to get readings out once a week, like I mentioned in the beginning, at the very least once a month. But I will try to set the standard and change it to once a week. So I appreciate you all being here. All the resources you can find are below in the description box, so check that out before you exit out of wherever you're at, on your phone or on your computer. And then I will see you guys next time. Okay? Bye.